Hello and welcome back to Women's Football Talk, the YouTube channel that brings you all the latest news and stories as and when it happens. Now before we get into today's video, make sure you like and subscribe and turn on the post notification bell so you never miss a video of ours, and that you're following us on Twitter and on Instagram for all the latest news and stories as and when it happens. So today's recap is going to be an exciting one. We're going to have a look at all the action in the WSL, the NWSL playoff finals, and all the action from around Europe. And what a weekend it has been in the WSL, to say the least. Now on Friday we spoke of Arsenal and their game against West Ham being our game of the week, as how Jonas Ova will do his selections with possible selection dilemma with Frida Marlin being the player in form at the minute, and how they use Viviana Miedema in this season and the rest of the season going forward. But we will talk about Tottenham beating Brighton and Hove Albion 8-0 to start off with. What a fantastic result it was for Spurs. I think one of them where they just got their shooting boots right, correct all of Sunday, and Brighton were just defensively bad, and it was just a bad day at the office for Megan Walsh and all of Hope Powell's side. Things got off to the perfect start with Marley Bartrip scoring after just 2 minutes, and then the goals just continued to flow there. They scored another 3 in the first half with Nicola Kosciuszka, Ashley Neville and Drew Spence both getting on the score sheet. And then just after half time there was a flurry of 3 goals within the space of 4 minutes within the first 15 of the second half restarting. Ashley Neville and Drew Spence both getting their second goals, and then Jessica Naz getting her first goal of the game, and then 7 minutes from time Naz got her second of the game, and obviously Spurs went on to win 8-0 in the end. So they finished off with 20 shots compared to Brighton's 14, and then they had 14 shots on target compared to Brighton's 6 in total, and it was just an absolute whirlwind of a day for Tottenham. I mean, trying to keep up with that, watching their game and obviously all the other games going on at the same time, it was just absolutely hectic, and I don't think anyone was expecting them to score as many as they did, considering this time last season they were barely scoring the goals. It was very interesting to see how they would go about it this season. Obviously they brought in players like Celine Bizet and Nicola Kosciuszka, but I wasn't expecting this type of reaction from Spurs this weekend, scoring 8 goals, and I don't think many Brighton fans were either. So it's a very good result for them, and definitely going to be one to see, can they push on in the rest of the season now. 11 goals this season with obviously 8 of them coming on Sunday. Can they push and mount a top 4 challenge for the rest of this season? So let's have a look at the rest of the results in the WSL. Arsenal won their late game against West Ham 3-1 with Stina Blackstenius, Frida Marlin and Jordan Nobbs scoring. Jordan Nobbs literally within the first 75 seconds of coming on for Kim Little, who picked up an injury, managed to draw Arsenal level after Dani Brignas de Tier put the hammers ahead. Then Blackstenius and Frida Marlin continued her great form, and like I said on Friday, the selection stuff, it's becoming like Izion's going to have to keep flipping between Marlin and Miedema. It's going to be very interesting to see. However, Miedema did come on in this game in the 71st minute, but this time it was for Stina Blackstenius, and Arsenal obviously managed to hold on to the win. Elsewhere, Chelsea managed to beat Aston Villa 3-1, with Lauren James scoring a brace and involved in the third as Sam Kerr scored, and it was an absolute fantastic day for Lauren James. I think that was probably her best performance in a Chelsea shirt to date so far. Rachel Daly continued her great start to life as an Aston Villa player, as she did score for Carla Ward's side. But yeah, really good result there for Chelsea, and they are looking like a good proper threat now for that title challenge. And speaking of the title challenge, I know it's only early days, but Manchester United again now are the only team yet to concede a goal this season in the WSL after beating Everton 3-0 with Nikita Paris, Leah Galton and Hayley Ladd all scoring. And then it was a win for Manchester City, beating Liverpool 2-1, Kelly Razzo and Khadija Shaw scoring for Manchester City. What form Shaw is in, I know we spoke about it last week, but her form at the minute is just absolutely brilliant, and it's exciting to see. And then Katie Stengel scored for Matt Beard's side, and then you've got to feel sorry for Leicester City 1-0 up for so long. Natasha Flint scored after 36 minutes. They managed to hold on, and then in stoppage time, Rachel Rose scored 2 goals to give Reading the victory. So it's just heartbreaking stuff there for Leicester as they look for their first points this season continues. Now, let's head over to the States before we do our European roundup, and it was a win for the Portland Thorns against the Kansas City Current, 2-0 to lift their 3rd NWSL Championship, with Sophia Smith scoring after just 4 minutes, and then Addison Merrick own goal just before the hour mark gave the Thorns a 2-0 victory. Very comfortable game for the Thorns. They looked definitely the more stronger side, and I think it's obviously having that past experience of being in an NWSL final before made it a lot more comfortable for them compared to the Kansas City Current, who were playing in their first ever championship final. So easy win for them, and congratulations to them for winning their 3rd NWSL title. And obviously Sophia Smith, what a year she's had, wins the league MVP the past couple of days. She's the youngest player to score in an NWSL final, and then the youngest player to win finals MVP as well, which is absolutely staggering to see. Right, let's head over to Europe now and look at the results from this past weekend. And it was a win for Barcelona as they managed to beat Levante 2-1, with Aitana Bonmati scoring the winner on her 200th appearance for the Blaugrana, whilst Real Madrid managed to beat Sevilla 2-0. So it was a good result for both of them there. And then on Saturday, Real Sociedad managed to win 5-1 against Alaves. Over in Germany, and Wolfsburg managed to hang on to beat Werder Bremen 3-2, Rebecca Blomqvist scoring a brace. However, it was a very scary last 15 minutes or so after Christian Meyer did score to make it 3-2, but Wolfsburg managed to hold on to pick up the 3 points there. Bayern Munich managed to beat Meppen by 3-1, with Clara Ball and Leah Schule amongst the goals for Bayern Munich against Meppen. So good wins for both of them sides over in Germany. Over in France, Lyon managed to pick up a 1-0 win against Fleury. Wendy Renard scoring in the 92nd minute, so it wasn't easy for teams this past weekend coming off Champions League action in the European leagues, taking a lot of time to find their goals this past weekend and find winners. PSG, though, they managed to beat Stade Reims 2-0, with Keriadatu Diani scoring a brace. Over in the Netherlands, and on Friday, it was wins for PSV and FC Twente, both winning 4-0 and 1-0 respectively. Fortuna Sittard beat Heerenveen 5-1, and Excelsior versus Telstar finishing a 2-2 draw. And then on Sunday, Ajax put 6 past VV Alkmaar, with Quinty Sabaiho scoring a hat-trick and Romy Lepta scoring a brace. And then finally, over in Italy this past weekend, Juventus managed to beat Fiorentina 2-0, Pomigliano beat AC Milan 2-1, Roma managed to beat Inter Milan by the same scoreline, Como and Sassuolo played out a 2-2 draw, and Sampdoria Parma finished 0-0. So that is it for this week's recap. We'll be back with the usual rundown later on this week to look ahead to the weekend's fixtures. Obviously there's no Champions League fixtures now until about a month's time, just under a month's time. We also have the international squads being announced this week as we get towards our next international break, because next Monday sees the start of the last international break of the year. So until then, later on this week we'll be back with more. Until then, make sure you like, subscribe and follow us on Twitter and on Instagram for all the latest news and stories as and when it happens. Until next time, we'll see you soon.